Wow, the food here is so tasty. The flavors are all so fresh. How did you find this place, Pam? I met up with some of the ladies from the church here a few weeks ago, and I liked it so much that I knew I just had to share it with you two. I had a feeling that the food here was going to be just to your taste. Well, thank you so much for bringing us here. I'm really enjoying the food. That's good. Make sure you don't hold back and order some more if you're still hungry. Oh, no. What I have on my plate right now is more than enough, but thank you.
Oh, Dad, since your 65th birthday is coming up soon, I wanted to ask if there was anything you particularly wanted me to get you as a gift. I was thinking that we could go to another fancy restaurant like this one to celebrate and then head home and give you your gifts. Oh, there's nothing I really want, to be honest. I'm getting too old to care about material possessions, you see. To be honest, instead of getting presents, I'd like to go on a little trip with you all. Maybe we could go for 2 days, 1 night over the weekend, so that you two don't need to take time off of work. You want to go on a trip? Yes, that's what I'd like to do more than anything. Since you and your sister left home, all your mother and I do is sit around in the house getting bored out of our minds. I'd really like to go somewhere where we can get lots of fresh air and blow off the cobwebs.
Then, since it's your birthday is on a Friday this year, shall we go somewhere from that Friday to Saturday? Is there any place in particular you'd like to go?
No, I don't know. I'm too old to know what the best places to go are anymore. It's probably best for you youngsters to choose somewhere. I trust your judgment more than I trust my own.
Yes, you're much more likely to know a suitable place than we are.
Okay, then we'll look into it. By the way, are we still inviting Sammy and Joe as well? I'm not sure if Joe will be able to make it, though, because he always seems to be so super busy with work.
Oh, well, if he can't make it, your sister can just come without him.
Yeah, I guess so. I'll ask her and see what she says. We'll need to get a place with a few rooms regardless. Ooh, should I book a villa with a pool?
Why would we go to a villa with a pool? Your parents don't even like swimming.
But I think it's worth it to splash out a little extra cash on a villa and be more comfortable than to book 3 hotel rooms. We might not even be on the same floor if we stay in a hotel. Don't you agree that we should make a little more of a special effort since it is my dad's 65th birthday? After all, you do only turn 65 once.
He's right, you know, and not to mention the fact that sometimes hotel beds are awfully uncomfortable. Like that budget hotel you chose for us last time we went away, Grace. I couldn't sleep a wink in that bed because the mattress was as hard as a rock. I know that you're still young and you can be comfortable sleeping anywhere, but us golden oldies have so many aches and pains that we have no choice but to be particular about where we sleep.
Well, that settles it then. We'll go for a villa with a pool. I'll go ahead and book it right now. It's best to do it sooner rather than later before the prices go up.
Oh, we can always rely on you to get things done quickly, Matt.
So I just did a little quick search and I found this really nice villa with a pool and an ocean view in California. It's around $1,500 a night for 6 people. Mom, take a look at these photos. Look at that sunset reflecting on the waves. It is so beautiful. I bet you and Dad will be able to take some really good photos together there.
Oh, I love it. It looks like something out of a dream. Look at this, honey. The rooms are massive as well.
Oh, yeah, it really looks nice. Though, if we're gonna go all the way to California, won't it be a shame to just be spending the 1 night there? You know what, you're right, Dad. We should take advantage and stay for 2 nights instead. We can arrive on the Friday and leave on the Sunday, which gives us plenty of time to get back home and have a rest before work on the Monday. I'll reserve it right now.
Honey, don't you think you're being a bit hasty here? How about we make a final decision at the end of the week after thinking about it for a little while? You haven't even asked Sammy if she and Joe are able to come yet, so how can you just go ahead and book it for 6 people like that? If they aren't able to come, we can book for 4 people instead and save a little money.
I don't know why you're being such a downer. If they can't come, we can just spread out and put all our stuff in the extra room.
But don't you think $1,500 for one night is a little too expensive? And if we do end up staying for 2 nights, then it's going to be $3,000. If we look around a bit more instead of just going for this one, we might be able to find something similar for much cheaper. Don't you agree?
But all of the cheaper places will probably all have been reserved already. If we end up wasting more time and we don't find something else good for cheaper, the price of this place is either going to go up or someone else is going to book it for our dates. My parents have already said that they like this place, so let's just go with this one, okay?
I just really don't think that we should be spending that much money on a couple of nights in a fancy villa with a pool. How can you so offhandedly make the decision just based on a few nice photos of the ocean views? A lot of the time, these places prioritize showing pictures of the ocean views as a tactic to cover up the fact that the villa itself isn't actually that nice. Don't you remember the last time we went away and you chose an expensive accommodation without thinking too much about it? The service was terrible and we just ended up spending the whole trip in a bad mood.
Well, that was just a once-off case of bad luck, that's all. This place is for sure going to be different, I just know it.
If we're going to be paying this much just to drive over to the next state, we might as well be jetting out to Hawaii or even going abroad. Pam, Melvin, do you two not think that the price of this villa is a little bit ridiculous?
I'm not too sure, to be honest. But I did hear that a lot of these cheaper places actually have a lot of hidden costs and turn out to be total scams. So maybe it is better to just go with somewhere a bit more expensive in order to be sure that it'll be reliable.
Yes, I agree. We should splash out while we can, don't you think? And besides, some of my friends have said they went to similar places that cost $2,000, so maybe this price isn't so high after all.
Honey, are you just making a fuss because you secretly want to go to Hawaii or somewhere abroad instead of a domestic trip? Maybe we should just do that. I heard that going to resorts in Mexico are all the rage these days.
No, that is not what I meant at all. What I'm trying to say is that we shouldn't rush into booking this place without first looking into it some more and seeing if we can find somewhere else nice for cheaper. To put it simply, I'm just telling you not to be too hasty. Oh, will you stop it? I really don't know why you're making such a fuss about this all of a sudden. When we went away during the summer last year, we spent way more than this on accommodation. Matt, darling, don't listen to your wife and just go ahead and book it already.
Okay, Mom, I'm gonna make the payment right now.
Thanks, sweetheart. Anyway, honey, let's go and get a seat in that coffee shop over the road whilst the kids are settling the bill. When we passed by earlier, the coffee bean smelled so nice, I don't think I can resist trying it.
Yeah, sure, you two can go ahead and order your coffee while we sort things out here. Oh, and you can take my other card to pay for the coffees. Here.
Thank you so much. I have the best son ever. Let's go, honey.
Okay, I'm on my way now.
Well, that was a little rude of your mom, don't you think? I was in the middle of talking and she cut me off and now she's just leaving without hearing me out. This isn't the first time she's done something like this, you know?
Just get your coat and we can start heading out as well.
By the way, honey, don't you think that your parents could pay for their own coffee for once?
What do you mean?
Well, we paid for their dinner, and I'm fine with that, but we're always paying for everything for them, and they never even offered to pay for us. I just think that they could fork out for a couple of $3 coffees every once in a while. Don't you agree? It's really not that much money, so why did you have to go and let them take your card for even something as small as that?
Oh, here we go again. As you said, the coffee isn't that expensive, so what's the big deal about buying it for them?
Well, I just don't feel comfortable about this attitude that you seem to have about your parents not having to pay for anything. I'm not asking them to be constantly going halves with us or anything like that, but I'm just saying that it would be nice if they would offer to pay for a meal when we eat out together or something like that every once in a while. It's not like you and I are rich or anything. We don't have money to burn. It's not like we can afford to splash out on expensive trips just like that. You keep talking about the villa with the pool as if it were nothing, just a trivial expense. But in reality, it's actually quite a big deal, and it hurts that you're being dismissive about my feelings on this.
Are you really still upset about this? I've already reserved it, so what's done is done. It's non-refundable, so there's really no point in talking about it anymore. We can go wherever you want the next time the two of us go on a trip. How about that?
You're missing the point here. I never said that I wanted to go somewhere else. I'm annoyed because you keep making these big financial decisions on your own, and you won't let me get a word in edgeways.
It's my dad's 65th birthday, though. As his oldest son, it's only right that I should pay for something special to celebrate, don't you think? I may not be rich, but I'm not so poor that I can't afford to treat my old man on his special day. My finances aren't going to take much of a hit from this at all, so don't you worry your little head about it, okay, honey? Anyway, my parents are probably waiting for us, so we should hurry up and go meet them in that coffee shop.
Happy birthday, Matt. We're having the special set meal today, so I hope you like it. The abalone is the main event, and it's supposed to be real tasty. I chose this place because I know you really like seafood, so I hope it's up to standard.
Thank you so much, Chester. I'm sure I'm gonna really enjoy it.
It's times like this that I really wish my late wife were here. She would always whip up the most spectacular feasts on family members' birthdays. I really wish you'd known her, Matt. I'm sure you would have gotten along really well, and she would have loved to spoil you rotten. I'm certainly not as good a cook as she was, so I'm afraid the best I can do is take you out to a nice restaurant to celebrate.
Oh, this restaurant is lovely, Dad. You have impeccable taste as always.
Oh, I'm so glad you like it. Make sure you eat until you're full to bursting, okay? Oh, I almost forgot, silly me. Here's your birthday gift, Matt. I thought that you would appreciate some cash more than an actual gift, so here you are. Don't go using it for something practical. Make sure you spend it on something nice you really want, okay?
Okay, I will. Oh, thank you so much, Chester. We're having the special set meal today, so I hope you like it. Oh, wow, this is $1,200?
What? $1,200?
Well, don't act too surprised. I don't have any sons of my own, so it's nice to spoil my son-in-law from time to time. Oh, I also got the restaurant to package up one of their gift sets for you. You can take it to your parents' house and share it with them.
A seafood restaurant that does gift sets?
Yeah, it's mostly crackers and jerky made from the top quality seafood that they serve here, along with a specially selected wine to accompany it. It's your dad's 65th birthday soon, isn't it? I'm sure he doesn't want to make a big deal out of it, so I didn't want to show up on your parents' doorstep making a fuss over him. I thought it would be best to just send a nice gift so he knows that I'm thinking about him. I couldn't remember if he was a wine drinker or not, so I did get a little bit worried.
No, don't worry, he loves wine. I'll make sure to deliver it to him as soon as possible. You really shouldn't have gone through all of this effort, though. This all must have been really expensive.
No, it's fine. I'm giving you these things because I want to.
Thank you so much for the money, Dad, and thank you for thinking about Melvin's 65th as well. I'll make sure to bring up how much effort you put into choosing the gift next time I see him. I'll pay for dinner tonight, though. You've already spent more than enough money.
Oh, no, it's fine, really. This meal is part of my birthday gift for you, Matt. There's no way that I'm going to let you pay for it. And besides, I paid for everything in advance anyway, so it's too late.
Thank you so much, Dad. I really appreciate all the effort you go to, you know. You always do something really nice for us on our birthdays.
Well, why wouldn't I? You're my family. I would give you the world if I could. You know that.
You really are the kindest father-in-law a guy could ask for. Oh, by the way, shall we head to the cafe next door for dessert after this? I heard that the cakes and pastries there are really good. My parents love it there, so I'm sure that you're gonna like it too, Chester.
That sounds like a really good idea. Lead the way, Matt. Everything is my treat today, so the coffee is on me as well.
Wow, thanks, Chester. You really are the best.
Where did Matt go all of a sudden?
I have no idea. He said he had to make a call and disappeared off somewhere. He'll probably be back any minute.
I suppose I should get going as soon as he comes back. I've got lots of deliveries to do tomorrow, and some of them are for the building next door as well as my building. I need to get up early if I want to get everything finished on time.
Dad, you really shouldn't be taking on all this work at your age.
Well, I can't help being the most efficient driver on my team. The manager keeps giving me more work because my performance is so good. And it's not like I enjoy sitting around at home doing nothing anyway. I've also been putting a lot more time into studying investment, and that means that I spend a lot of my free time sitting around at my desk. It's not good for your posture to be doing that at my age, so it's nice to get out and about and do some exercise.
Even so, you should remember to take it easy sometimes. We don't want you throwing your bag out or anything like that.
Oh, it looks like Matt is on his way back. Oh, there's Matt. What have you got there?
Oh, it's just some soup for my dad. My mom called and said that he's not feeling so well, so I went across the street to get some soup to help him feel better.
Oh, really? Is everything okay with him?
Oh, I'm sure he's fine. He just has a weak constitution, so he gets sick quite often. He isn't active like you, Chester, so he's more susceptible to a lot of things.
Ah, I see. You must be quite worried about him, so I'll let you go now.
You really have no sense, do you, honey? If you were getting some soup for your dad anyway, would have really have hurt to get some for my dad too. I was worried that you suddenly took a call and disappeared to go outside, but now I see all you were doing was buying some soup.
But your dad is in perfectly good health, and he must be full already from eating dinner with us just now.
Well, yeah, that's true, but he could have taken it home and heated it up to eat tomorrow. You could have at least asked him if he wanted any.
But this kind of soup is best eaten straight away. It doesn't taste good at all if you heat it up the next day.
It's about the thought behind it more than anything else. You got it from the place right across the road, right? Come on, Dad, let's go there now. We can get you some soup to take away. Apparently it's really good.
There's really no need for you to get any for me. I'm fine, honestly.
But you treated us to so many nice things today, Dad. The least I could do is buy you a nice warm bowl of soup to say thank you.
It's really fine, sweetheart. You don't need to get me anything in return. I don't live that far away, so I can come here anytime and try their soup if I want to. I don't even like soup that much anyway.
But even so...
You both must be really tired after today. How about we all head home and rest now? I hope you two get home safe. I'll be off now.
All right, see you later, Chester. Honey, how about we get a couple of pastries from this cafe to take away as well? We can give them to my parents since they like it so much here.
And why would we do that? They're already getting the gift set with the wine and the soup you just bought.
Well, if you were going to buy the soup for your dad anyway, I don't see what the big problem is in spending the same amount of money on pastries for my parents.
What are you saying? I only offered to get my dad the soup because I felt bad about all the things he paid for today. I don't know why you're interpreting that to mean that I'd be happy to spend money on your parents just for the sake of it.
Well, I don't think that there's any need to feel bad for your dad paying for everything today. He invited us out on my birthday, so it was a given that he would pay for the meal. And I think that buying a couple of coffees on top of that isn't that much of a stretch. I really don't get why you keep saying you feel bad for him. Also, he said that he didn't even like soup that much anyway, so what is the big deal?
I really can't tell whether you're pretending to be clueless or if you actually are clueless. Of course he likes soup. Everyone likes soup. He just didn't want to cause any trouble for us, so he just made his excuses and left. If you had just had the sense to think of buying him a portion when you bought some for your dad, I'm sure he would have accepted it gratefully.
Well, what do you want me to do about it now, huh? Go and buy some more soup and deliver it to his house?
Oh, just forget it.
Why are you getting mad at me over this? I really don't get it.
My dad goes out of his way to treat us to dinner and coffee because it's Matt's birthday, and he even thought to prepare a present for Melvin's upcoming 65th. The least Matt could have done was spare a thought for my dad when he was buying that soup. Even if he knows my dad is in good health and doesn't need it, it still would have been a nice gesture. He's always just thinking about treating his own parents, and he never thinks about my dad, even though he's always going out of his way to do nice things for us. My dad made such a fuss over Matt's birthday today, but Matt's parents don't even know when my birthday is and have never even asked. They're not interested in doing anything for us, so it really makes me hesitant to want to do random acts of kindness for them. Matt really shouldn't be making me compare my dad to his parents, but I just can't help it.
Thanks for picking me up and bringing me over here, Matt. Also, I've been meaning to say, it's so nice of you to have bought a big car just so you can drive us and Mom and Dad around, too. I did wonder why you and Grace needed such a big car when it's just the two of you, but now I see that you were just thinking about us. You're so kind.
Well, it's nice to be able to go places with family, isn't it?
But still, I feel like you're spoiling us way too much recently. It doesn't sit right with me that you paid for the whole California trip for Dad's birthday. Well, I guess this is why Mom goes around bragging to everyone about how amazing her oldest son is. I'm really sorry that Joe can't come on this trip. His hours aren't super conventional, so he doesn't always get weekends off.
Well, he'll just have to make sure that he comes on the next trip, won't he?
Yeah, I'm sure there'll be plenty more chances for us to all go on a trip together in the future. By the way, please take this. I'm Dad's child too, and I'd like to contribute financially towards his 65th birthday trip. I hate feeling like a freeloader, so I would feel much better if you just let me put some money towards it. I've put some money for the gas in there as well as half the money for the villa. I know how much you earn, and I know you must have stretched yourself thin in order to be able to afford this. You shouldn't be such a big spender when you know it's going to put you in a difficult position.
Look who's talking. I know that you don't have the money right now either. You need this money more than I do, so I'll take the hit this time, okay? You should use this money to take Mom and Dad out to a fancy restaurant or something instead.
Are you really going to pay for the whole thing yourself? Does Grace know how reckless you are with money? I really don't think she'd be very happy with you if she knew you'd refused my offer to go halves, you know.
Well, the truth is, she's not too happy. We've already fought once about the cost of this trip. It's my money that I earned through my hard work, so I should be able to use it however I like. I don't know why she keeps picking fights with me over this.
Because she's your wife? And she probably wants you to communicate more with her before you make any kind of financial decisions. When you're a married couple living together, you have to accept that how you choose to spend your money is your spouse's business as well as your own. I also wanted to ask you, do you treat her dad to nice things just as much as you treat our parents?
Well, no, not really, to be honest. He's Grace's dad, so I figured that Grace can treat him if she wants to, and if she doesn't, she doesn't. I never really thought of it as anything to do with me.
Well, I can guarantee you that she feels resentful about that. You're always going out of your way to buy nice things for Mom and Dad, or take them to expensive restaurants, or organize trips to go on with them. This is all great, but if Joe was doing that just to his own parents and not bothering about making an effort with mine, I know that I would be upset for sure. You've said before that her dad does quite a lot for you guys, right? She probably feels like you're not grateful enough toward him or something like that. I know that if my husband makes more of an effort with my parents, then that makes me want to be nicer to his in turn. Women really get the ick from husbands like you who pour all their energy into spoiling their parents but won't spare a thought for their wife's family. Anyway, we've gone off on a bit of a tangent, but my main point is that I think you should just accept this money and be okay with us going halves on the trip.
I already told you I'm not taking it.
What's going on here? Are you two having a fight or something?
Ah, finally someone with sense appears. I know that you'll happily accept this, Grace. It's half the money for the villa for Dad's birthday, plus some extra money to cover the cost of gas. I just didn't feel comfortable leaving Matt paying for everything, but he's being stubborn and he won't accept the money from me.
Honey, why won't you just take the money? At times like this, you should just graciously accept it and not be ridiculously stubborn for no reason. I think it's really nice of Sammy to be offering to pay half, and it'll help us out a lot. She's your sister, not some stranger. It's not weird for her to be going halves with you on this trip when it's in honor of your dad's 65th birthday, who is her dad as well, by the way, if you hadn't forgotten.
Well, I just don't feel right taking the money from her when I know that they're struggling at the moment. I think it's just best for us to cover it this time, and Sammy can pay next time when her situation is a little bit more stable.
Are you forgetting that we're not exactly rolling in cash ourselves at the moment? I know that you just want to treat your parents to something nice, but when you have a sister who is willing to split the cost with you, what's the use in insisting that you'll pay for it all yourself?
I just don't want to accept the money from Sammy, and that is that. We already pay for everything, and my parents were really happy that I was able to do that for them. I feel like it's my responsibility as their oldest son to make sure that my dad's 65th birthday is one to remember. Can't you just let me do this and stop getting angry at me every 5 minutes?
Matt, Grace, please don't fight over this. It doesn't look like he's going to back down, Grace, so I guess the only thing I can do is promise that I won't let him pay for everything the next time an occasion like this comes around.
Thanks, Sammy. I appreciate that. I guess I'll get going now. And I'm so sorry for raising my voice at this silly husband of mine in front of you.
Hey, where do you think you're going? We're supposed to be having lunch with my parents today.
What are you doing? Hurry up and follow her!
Grace, where are you going? You can't just take off like that. You've got Sammy all worried. And what are my parents gonna say if you don't show up to lunch when we said we would be there?
Oh, you can just make up some excuse. Say I'm not feeling very well or something like that. I'm sure you'll be perfectly capable of enjoying lunch without me. I'm sure you'll have much more fun being surrounded by your precious family than having to worry about me. Looking at your face is really making me lose my appetite, so I really don't think I can put on a happy show and sit at the table with you right now.
Why do you keep getting mad about this whole trip thing? It's my dad's 65th, and I just want to make sure that it's special. Can't you see that I just want to treat him to some nice things? I really don't know why you can't understand my feelings on this.
You really don't get it. It is not because of your dad's birthday trip. This is just the tip of the iceberg. In the 5 years that we've been married, have your parents ever even treated us to lunch or dinner once? Except the times that they invited us over to their house to have your mom's home cooking. No, they haven't. It's always us paying for them. I know that Sammy also pays sometimes, but not nearly as often as we do. I really don't want to compare your parents with my dad, but I just can't help it. If we buy dinner for my dad, he always feels bad about it and insists on treating us the next time we eat out with him. I don't know if you noticed, but he always chooses to take us somewhere more expensive than the last place we took him. That's how considerate he is. But your parents just say thanks and have grown to expect you to pay for them, so I know they don't actually feel grateful toward you. They just take it for granted that you'll always treat them. I really hate that, you know?
Let me get this straight. So, what you're saying is that you feel resentful because my parents never buy us dinner, but your dad does? Don't you get exhausted getting hung up on tiny, silly little things like this all the time?
I really didn't want to bring this up, but it's so obvious that your parents use and take advantage of us. And you probably think that I didn't know because I didn't mention it until now, but I know that you've been sending your parents a generous allowance every month behind my back.
How did you know about that?
If you're going to keep on doing that, then it's only fair for us to be sending my dad money regularly as well, don't you think? It's not even like your parents contributed more to our wedding or anything like that. We did all of that off our own backs without any help from either of our families. So why are you secretly sending your parents money every month without sparing a thought for my dad? We should be taking care of the parents on both sides of our family equally. Don't you agree? And married people shouldn't keep what they were doing with their money a secret from their spouse anyway. Also, I think it's only right that my dad should be allowed to come with us on the California trip. It's his birthday too in a few months, you know. Shouldn't we be providing him with the same treatment?
Okay, sure. If you want your dad to come, you can take care of that yourself.
What did you just say?
Well, I'm my parents' son, and you're your dad's daughter, right? I think it's only natural that I should just worry about my own parents because I don't have any blood ties to your dad. You should do the same and just worry about being good to him and let me do what I want to do for my own parents. If you're that upset about this, you should be the one to do something about it, in my opinion. If you want to bring your dad on the trip, go ahead, but you can be the one to pay for him. It is none of my business. You'll have to pay for a separate accommodation for him, though, since I was the one to pay for the villa, and I'm only interested in taking care of my family.
So this is how you really feel, huh? Just because it was your card that was used to make the booking, that doesn't mean it isn't our money. And weren't we going to pay for lunch for your parents tonight on my card? According to your logic, every expense involving your parents should be covered by you and you alone.
Well, yeah, I guess you're right. I'll pay for tonight's lunch on my card. So let's just agree that going forward, we should each take care of our family and not worry about the others. I told you when we first got together that I feel a strong sense of duty towards my parents. So whether you like that or not, that's just me, and I'm not going to change that. I never asked you to do anything for them, did I? All you need to do is show up and be nice to them. It's not that hard, is it? Which means that you also shouldn't expect me to be jumping through hoops in order to please your dad. I feel like I do enough to fulfill my duty as his son-in-law, and I really don't know what else you're trying to ask of me. I don't know why it's so bad for someone to just want to put effort into looking after their own parents. I really don't know why you're making me out to be some terrible husband over this.
I would be less mad if you didn't gleefully accept everything my dad gives you without ever bothering to do anything for him in return. Like the other day on your birthday when he gave you that envelope of cash, you could have at least bought him some soup to show how grateful you were to him. But no! You're just like your parents, and you take the nice things other people do for you for granted. I wouldn't be so mad if you'd done so much as half of what you do for your own parents for my dad, but you never bother about him at all, when he really goes out of his way to treat you well. Would you like it if my dad was like your parents and didn't do anything for us at all?
It's not like I ever asked him to give us anything, is it? He gives us stuff and pays for stuff because he wants to. What do you want me to do? Just say no when he offers to pay for something?
If you're not going to feel like you have to do nice things for him in return, then yes, I would like you to say no to him.
So are you saying that I should repay him by paying for him to come on the trip with us as well? Or is it just because you can't actually afford to pay for him yourself? You should have told me in advance if you were struggling with money at the moment. If that's the case, I'll just take my family to the villa in California, and you can take your dad to a budget hotel nearby instead. I'm sure your dad would just feel uncomfortable in a fancy villa with a pool anyway.
I really don't know how you have the audacity to stand there and talk to me like this.
Well, I'm still confused as to why you're upset. I'm just telling you how things are.
Oh, really? Well, if you're going to insist on acting like this, I really don't think I can stay married to you.
Wait, what? Well, that escalated quickly.
I don't want to be with someone who wants to throw money around without consulting me and won't spare a thought for my dad who thinks the world of him, but will happily splash his cash on his own parents who never so much as lift a finger to do anything for him. Your attitude toward keeping our family separate really upsets me, you know. It makes me feel like we're not a team at all.
Are you being serious right now? Do you have the confidence to look at me straight in the eyes and say that you want to get a divorce?
Yes. Yes, I do. I've worked hard to be a good daughter-in-law to your parents from day one, but you never once made the same effort with my dad, who always treated you as if you were his own son. You got accustomed to his generosity and were always happy to accept any gifts and money he would throw at you. I really don't know how you can be so shameless as to suggest that we each take care of our own families and not bother about the others when my dad has done so much for you over the years. Well, I guess you will be getting what you want because after we get divorced, you'll be able to treat your parents to your heart's content without having to worry about me.
Well, now I know that you're so bitter about me just wanting to give my parents nice things, I think I agree with you that we're better off apart. If you say let's get divorced, then sure, let's get divorced. But don't go regretting your decision later on because I won't take you back however much you beg me. I'll give you one final chance right now, though. Is this really what you want?
Yes, for the last time, I want to divorce you.
You're so ungrateful, you know? The reason that you were able to live so comfortably for the last few years was because of my money, you know? I guess Grace isn't home from work yet. That's lucky. I'll just quickly grab the rest of my clothes before she comes back so that I don't have to see her. What's this tablet? I don't remember Grace ever having a tablet. Oh, wait, hang on. Looking at the background, it seems like this is Chester's tablet, not Grace's. Oh, wow, he has a whole bunch of apps to do with stocks. I had no idea that he was into investing. I heard the market wasn't too great at the moment, though, so he's likely not doing that well. Let's take a quick look. Wait a second. He seems to even be investing in overseas stocks. Oh my gosh. Look at the dividend from last year alone. He must have been earning at least $10,000 each quarter.
Hey, what are you doing here?
Oh, sorry. I just came to pick up the rest of my stuff. I didn't take many clothes with me when I originally left.
Well, hurry up and go get them then. What's that you're holding, by the way? Is that a tablet?
Yeah, it is. Does it belong to your dad?
Yeah, I guess he must have left it behind last time he came over to see me.
Is this really your dad's? Has he really been investing in overseas stocks and making big bucks all this time? He never said anything about being into investing before. Why would he keep this a secret if he was so successful at it?
I'm guessing you opened the tablet and saw all the apps he has then? I keep telling him that he should set a passcode, but he always says that it's too much trouble to go to every time. Even so, you shouldn't go touching other people's things like that.
I'm sorry, the curiosity just got the better of me. This is crazy, though. Is he really earning this much money just through investing in stocks? I just thought that he was working part-time as a delivery driver. I had no idea that he had such a lucrative side hustle.
Well, I guess the cat's out of the bag now. You've seen everything, so what's the point in asking me? Yes, my dad has actually become quite the expert in investing. He used a lot of his pension money to invest in high dividend yields right after he retired, and he's been hoarding them ever since.
Wait, what? Why did you never tell me about this? If you told me, I would have taken a leaf out of his book and done the same.
Well, was there really any reason for me to tell you? It's not that it's my money, it's my dad's. Whatever my dad does with his money is, quite frankly, none of your business.
But it's highly likely that you could inherit some of the money that he earns from them. So I think it's something that you should have told me while we were still together.
Well, you said yourself before that I should take care of my dad and you should take care of your parents. So even if we did still stay married after you decided that, you still would have forfeited any right to a claim on my dad's property. But anyway, we don't have anything to do with each other anymore, so what's it to you whether I inherit the money my dad made from those stocks or not? I don't really want to carry on talking to you, so just get the rest of your stuff and leave already. I want to take a shower, but I feel weird doing it whilst you're still in the house.
Do I really have to leave?
Of course you do. We already decided that we're going to get a divorce. I don't see why anything would have changed.
Well, of course things have changed now that I know about this. And anyway, however I think about it, I really don't think we should be getting divorced over something like this. We should have never fought over such trivial things. Oh, I'm so sorry, honey. I was wrong. Everything you said was right. I'm the one who's at fault. I should have made more of an effort to treat your dad better.
What's with this sudden change of heart? It's obviously because you found out that my dad is making a lot of money from his stocks and you suddenly see him in a different light, isn't it?
No, that's not it at all.
Just get out already. It's painfully obvious what your real intentions are. It's scary how you can put on such a sincere face and apologize when it's clear that you don't mean a single word of it. I don't care whether you've packed the rest of your stuff yet or not. I need you to get out of my house right now.
Honey, wait. Just hear me out, please.
Does Chester normally finish work this late? I'm starting to feel like an idiot standing around here waiting.
I'm pretty sure it's normally around this time that he finishes his last delivery. Let's just wait a few more minutes, okay, Mom?
I really don't understand why Chester still does this delivery job when he's making so much money from his stocks. If I were him, I'd be using that money to live comfortably without a care in the world.
Yeah, I really don't understand him either, to be honest. I don't know why he feels like he has to put so much effort in for such a small salary when he doesn't really need to. If I had known about his stocks earlier, I would have taken extra care to make sure that he was looking after himself. Anyway, Mom, don't forget to be extra nice to him when he comes, okay?
Well, of course I'm gonna be nice to him, silly. Do you think maybe we've overdone it with the gifts? The fruit basket and the flowers are getting quite heavy, and I don't know how much longer I can stand here holding them. But do you really think that he's gonna accept these gifts from us? Surely it would be better to try and get back in Grace's good books first, instead of directly trying to suck up to Chester.
That's not gonna work, I'm afraid, Mom. Grace is ruthless. She hasn't wasted any time in completely freezing me out. She wouldn't even let me finish packing up all of my stuff and just had it sent to me because she didn't want to see me in person that bad. She also already had the locks changed, so I can't just get in whenever I want to anymore.
Well, I guess even though she didn't bring that much money to the table herself, she does own that house outright, so I suppose she has a right to do whatever she likes with it. Anyway, how come you never knew about Chester's stocks? If he'd been investing for years, you should have looked further into Grace's family financial situation when you guys first got married.
Well, how was I supposed to know when neither of them ever told me about it? But all hope is not lost. We need to do whatever it takes to make sure we stop the divorce from happening. Although I don't know if Grace isn't going to talk to me.
Oh, look, here he comes.
Chester, hi.
Oh, hello there. This is unexpected. I didn't expect to see you waiting outside my front door, Matt. And Pam as well. What a pleasant surprise.
I suppose you must be a bit caught off guard to see us waiting here, aren't you? Thank you so much for the birthday gift you bought for my husband, by the way. We all thought that it was such a lovely gesture. I thought it was only right for me to come and say thank you in person, rather than just saying it over a phone call. I feel like that would have been far too impersonal after you put so much thought into choosing the gift. I'm sorry that it's taken me so long to come around. Life just gets in the way sometimes, you see.
Well, I would be lying if I said I expected to see you here today. To be honest, you haven't really made an effort to reach out to me for quite some time, you know? I've been sending you presents on various occasions for a while now, and you've never made the effort to thank me for them before. You never even texted or called me. So, you can see why I'm a little surprised that you suddenly wanted to go as far as come to my house in person to thank me.
Oh dear, have we really been that bad? I am so sorry. If you had felt upset about us not contacting you before, you should have said something about it. My husband and I aren't really fans of using our phones, you see, so sometimes we can get quite bad at keeping in touch with people. I'll make sure that we don't upset you ever again from now on. Oh, I almost forgot. Here, this is for you. I know it's not much, but it's just to say thank you to you for sending us such nice stuff all the time. I know that the price of fruit is through the roof these days, so we thought that it would be nice to bring you a fruit basket. It must be hard to make sure that you're eating healthily when you live all by yourself as well.
Thank you for your concern, but I can assure you that Grace always makes sure that I'm eating a healthy and balanced diet.
Well, that doesn't surprise me. She's always going out of her way to take care of us, so I imagine that she must treat you like a king.
Thank you very much for the gift, but I really don't need any more fruit, so you can just take it home with you and eat it with your husband. Matt, please take your mother and go home already. I already heard from Grace that you two have decided to get a divorce. There is no reason to maintain any kind of relationship with your family now, so please don't come to my house again, okay?
Chester, please, hear me out. I had tunnel vision when it comes to looking after my own parents, and I never gave you second thought. I feel terrible. You were always so nice to me, and I was always so ungrateful and never did anything for you in return. Could you perhaps find it in yourself to forgive me?
And why on earth would I want to forgive you when my daughter has already decided that she wants nothing to do with you anymore? As her father, I respect her decision, and I kindly request that you don't bother me anymore. If Grace is disappointed in you, then I am disappointed in you as well. And she already told me that the reason for you suddenly wanting to get back together after you agreed to the divorce is because you found out that I've made a small fortune from investing in stocks, and you want a share of it. If that really is the reason for all your begging and pleading, then I'm even less inclined to look favorably on you.
Oh, no, it's not because of that at all, I promise you. It's just that I realized that Grace is the love of my life, and I'll never find anyone like her ever again. My mom and my sister have both been on my case, telling me that she was the ideal woman and that nobody else is ever going to want to be with me, and she was a saint to put up with me all this time. It's safe to say that I finally come to my senses and that I was stupid to ever argue with her. I've made up my mind to treat you just as if you were my own father, Chester. In fact, no, even better than if you were my own father. When this is all sorted out, how about you come and live with me and Grace? That way we can make sure that you're waited on hand and foot 24/7. Grace has never liked the idea of you sitting around in the house all by yourself. I'm sure it'll give her tremendous peace of mind.
He's right, you know. If you sell your house and Grace and Matt also sell their house, you should be able to get a really nice, much bigger place with the money you'd get from the sales. Apparently, the apartments in this building can fetch a really good price, which I had no idea about. Doesn't exactly look like a high-end development, to be honest.
Mom, please stop this already. I told you not to talk about money.
Oops, a slip of the tongue. Anyway, wouldn't it be lovely if the three of you could live together? I'm sure Grace would be really happy with that arrangement.
Well then, Matt, I have a question for you.
Go ahead, Chester. You can ask me anything you like.
Once I'm satisfied with the value of my stocks, I'm actually planning on selling them and donating everything to charity. You know that Grace isn't the type to accept handouts from anyone, right? Not even her own dad. She's always preferred to look after herself, and she's doing well enough to support herself just fine. As you said, she owns the house outright. So I've decided that I'm not going to leave any of the money from the stocks to her. So if you thought you'd be able to use that money to live in a better house and spend the rest of your days living comfortably, I'm sorry, but that was never going to happen. I thought that your desire to get back with Grace might waver a little if I told you this. Grace already knows everything I'm planning, and she's on board with it all. So, how do you feel about the situation now then? Do you still think not going ahead with the divorce is the best idea?
You're going to donate the lot? You're going to sell all of those stocks with the crazy high yield rates and donate all of the profits?
Yeah, you heard me right. Which is why I'm asking you right now. After finding out that I won't pass on my assets to Grace when I die, do you still want to be with her?
Well,
The answer is written all over your face. You're not suddenly clinging on to Grace because you're sorry. It's because you wanted to get your hands on my assets, isn't it?
No, that's not it at all. Go ahead and donate if that's what you really want to do. But maybe you should only donate 5 or 10% instead of everything. It would be such a waste to give all of your hard-earned money away to others, don't you think? Be honest with me, Chester. This is a joke, isn't it? Or are you trying to put me through some kind of test?
Just go home already. I don't have anything else to say to you.
Chester, please open the door. I wasn't done talking.
Chester! You can't just donate all the profits. What if Grace suddenly falls on hard times and you don't have the money to help her out? What are we supposed to do now, Matt?
I think we've really ruined our chances this time. Is this really the end for us? Are we really gonna go through with this divorce?
Well, of course we are. We've gone through all the court proceedings and there's nothing else that we really need to say to each other at this point.
Do you not treasure the precious memories we made together? Did our whole relationship mean nothing to you?
Well, if I'd known what you were really like before we got married, I never would have agreed to marry you. I was really disgusted to see how you tried to suck up to me and my dad after finding out about his wealth. You didn't care about him at all until then. And showing up at his house trying to beg him and bribe him with gifts was really pathetic of you, you know. If you felt so strongly about the idea of us both individually taking responsibility for treating our own parents well, you wouldn't have changed your stance as soon as you thought there might be something in it for you.
I don't understand why you're getting upset with me over this. I was just doing exactly what you wanted me to do.
You're such a joke. If you had actually wanted to fix your ways and change in order to make me happy, you would have done so as soon as I first brought up the idea of getting divorced. But instead you were more than willing to split up with me over this until you saw my dad's tablet that day. Seeing how you could do a total 180 completely fueled by greed made me realize that you really are a terrible, self-centered person.
Well, of course you're gonna paint me out to be the villain in this situation, aren't you? Since I can't possibly make things any worse, I guess I'll go ahead and just ask you. Did you invest in stocks without telling me as well? I feel like you did, didn't you?
Why on earth would you ask me something like that? Why would you even care at this point? And even if I had, why should I tell you?
I guess a small fry like me isn't worth being privy to what the rich kids get up to, huh? If your dad is planning to donate all of his money, I guess you must be planning on doing the same.
I don't know why you're making yourself out to be so poor. You earn way more money than I do.
Well, I don't think that's the case anymore. If your dad knows the secrets of the stock market, then I'm sure he must have told you about them by now. Why don't you tell me which stocks are the lucrative ones and let me have my fun as well? Think of it as your parting gift towards me.
You really are nothing but a piece of trash who only cares about money, aren't you? I was such an idiot for staying with you for so long. I really wish I'd found out the truth about you earlier. Hey, there, taxi!
Hey, I hadn't finished talking. You can't just cut me off like that.
Who was responsible for checking the average voltage readings this time? I'm pretty sure that these calculations are completely wrong.
This is so frustrating. This stock is clearly going up in value, so why is the yield so low? It seems to be getting lower and lower by the second. What on earth is happening here?
Matthew, it says here that you were the ones to do the checks this time round. You need to do your work properly. It's obvious that you barely paid any attention when you made these calculations.
I did everything that the supposed stock experts on YouTube told me to do, so why isn't it working out for me?
Matthew?
Yes, boss. I'm sorry.
What were you daydreaming about so deeply that you didn't even notice me calling your name? I've been asking who checked the average voltage readings for the last 10 minutes. I don't pay you to sit there spacing out, you know?
I'm so sorry. These days have just been a bit hard.
I don't care. You need to do your work properly. I'm tired of people getting distracted when they have important tasks to do. This is a corporate safety inspection. It's not something to be taken lightly. Are you having family issues or something?
No, nothing like that.
Then I don't feel sorry for you. Run the checks and do the calculations again, and make sure you do it properly this time.
Did I buy too many stocks? Have I been too greedy? No, that's not it. It's normal that there's going to be downward trends sometimes. I'll be able to make up the losses in no time. I just need to wait for the tables to turn in my favor.
What on earth is he blabbering on about to himself?
Hey, I've been calling you to come out and have breakfast with me for the last 15 minutes. What is it that you're spending all your time doing all alone in your room? And why are you still in your pajamas? Are you not going to work today?
Oh, I quit my job.
What on earth would you go and quit your job for? You worked so hard to get into that company. Why would you quit all of a sudden?
I just figured that I can't make good money if I stay in that company any longer. Life's too short to waste on low-paying, dead-end jobs. I don't have the money to start my own company, so I'm just gonna have to become the god of investments and make my fortune on the stock market. These days, I'm rubbing shoulders with all the most famous people in the investing world, you know? They all quit their 9-to-5 jobs in order to focus all their energy on investing, and it worked out for them, so I figured that it would probably work out for me as well.
Have you gone completely crazy? Investing in stocks is such a risky game to play. There is absolutely no guarantee that you're going to succeed. Staking your entire livelihood on it is far too dangerous.
Oh, it's fine, Mom. I've actually been looking into investing in Bitcoin as well recently, and it seems to be pretty lucrative.
Are you out of your mind? The golden age of Bitcoin is long behind us. If you want to make money, you shouldn't dabble in things like that. You used to be such a sensible boy. Why have you become so delusional all of a sudden? Did you think that it would be easy to make money from stocks after seeing how Grace's dad had so much success with it? It seems that he invested a lot of money into those stocks. Remember that he had his entire pension at his disposal, which you don't. There's no way you're going to be able to get back as much as he did with that little that you're able to invest. You need to wake up and come to your senses already.
What do you know about investing anyway, Mom? Do you not see my stack of books on how to invest smartly? I really think that this is a golden opportunity for me after all of the hardships that I've had to endure.
You really can't see that you're setting yourself up for failure here, can you? What is wrong with you? You are earning a decent wage at your company and we're all able to live comfortably enough. Isn't that enough for you?
It's people who have attitudes like you who can't succeed in the world of investing. Rich people become rich because they change their mindsets. They're never satisfied with what they want and they always strive for more. I have ambition, Mom.
Matthew, can't you see that this isn't going to end well?
I don't want to hear it, Mom. Now, will you please just get out of my room and leave me in peace? If you're going to keep acting like this, then I'm just going to move out and start living on my own.
You really never used to be like this. Can't you just go back to being the sweet boy you used to be? You never snapped at me until you got into this investment nonsense.
Did I just not tell you to get out of my room? Just leave me in peace, Mom.
Okay, fine, I'll go. I'll leave your breakfast on your desk here, so make sure you eat it, okay?
With all due respect, you look like someone who has never worked a day in the hospitality industry. Are you sure you'll be able to do the job well? This place has gotten pretty well known after we appeared on TV, so we've started a delivery service as well recently. You'll have to deal with doing deliveries, waiting on customers on the floor, and also helping out in the kitchen from time to time. Do you think you'll be able to do all of that under pressure? Looking at your resume, it seems that you've only done desk jobs for your entire life. Do you mind me asking why you suddenly want to work in the catering industry?
Well, the truth is, last year I put my all into investing in stocks and Bitcoin. I did all of the studying I possibly could, and I asked all of the experts what I should do. However, things didn't exactly go according to plan, and I even ended up becoming the victim of a scam. I ended up having to take out a bunch of loans to survive, and even had to use my parents' house as collateral. My dad was so mad at me that he told me to go out and do whatever I can to make some money to take home. I'm basically looking for whatever I can get at this point. I didn't mention it on my resume, but I'm actually also working as a taxi driver at night. So whether it's deliveries, waiting on tables, or helping out in the kitchen, I'm happy to do anything.
Ah, really? I do feel a bit sorry for you after all that's happened to you. Would you be able to start work immediately? We open at midday, so you would literally have to start waiting on tables in around 5 minutes. Is that okay with you? We're really short-staffed at the moment, so I would really appreciate that.
Of course I can. Leave it to me. I'm on the job.
Where have you taken me this time, Dad? Another place on your never-ending list of must-try restaurants?
Well, you know I've been really obsessed with chickens these days, right? This chicken place is amazing. It's fast food, but it all tastes so high quality. The service is also really good here. I've started to come here all the time after I finish work, you know? I know it's not the healthiest thing in the world, but it's just so tasty that I had to share it with you.
It does smell amazing. I'm getting hungry from just standing in the doorway. Hi there, are you eating in or taking away? Oh.
Oh, we'd like to sit in, please. Oh, Matt? What are you doing working in a place like this?
Oh, I'm actually glad that I've run into you two, you know? Because of you, my life is completely ruined.
What on earth are you saying?
Just what do you think you're doing? Grabbing my daughter by the collar like that? Let go of her this instant.
Get out of my way, Grandpa. Do you have any idea how much I've suffered following your lead with the whole investing thing? If I hadn't seen how much success you had with investing in stocks, I never would have quit my job, lost all my money, and fallen a victim to a scam. This is all because of you two. It's because of you two that my life is nothing but a pathetic joke.
Why blame us for ruining your life when you clearly have done this to yourself? Did we tell you to give up everything in order to focus on investing? It's not our fault that you were blindly chasing money and recklessly invested in stocks only to end up failing. I would have thought that someone in your situation would feel humbled and would start reflecting on their decisions, but I guess not. You really haven't changed one bit, have you? The fact that you're going around blaming other people for your misfortune is proof of that. How dare you try and grab my precious daughter by the collar and yell at her when you're the one who hurt her so badly? Well, I'm not going to stand by and watch you hurt her again, that's for sure.
Please, let go of me. This is assault, you know.
You're the one who laid hands on my daughter first, so this is self-defense, actually.
It had been almost 3 years since I last saw Matt when my dad and I ran into him by coincidence when he was working as a waiter at a chicken place my dad wanted to go to. He had lost a ton of weight and his once round face was looking super gaunt. He also seemed to have become much more temperamental than he used to be. If he hadn't come right up to me and grabbed me by the collar, I may not even have recognized him. The owner of the restaurant called the police immediately and Matt was taken down to the station. Even at the police station, he was saying that they should be arresting us instead of him for setting him on the path that ended up ruining his life. They ended up throwing him in a jail cell in the end. The situation just got even more chaotic from then on out. His mom showed up after the police got in touch with her, and as soon as she saw us standing there, she launched herself on us and started trying to attack us, just like her son had done. She also said the same things that he said to us, accusing my dad's and his success in the stock market being the reason why her son had ended up ruining his life. She said that if I had just accepted Matt for the way he was and not made a fuss and brought up the divorce, then none of this would have happened. The two of them looked so very pathetic. It made me feel a little sorry for them, if I'm honest. The real reason that his life ended up ruined is because he was consumed with constant greed for more money. First, he wanted to get his hands on my dad's money, and then he ended up losing sight of the importance of holding on to the money he had in an attempt to get rich quick. Although we didn't divorce on good terms, I never intended to play a part in messing up his life, so I do feel a little sad about that. I hope that everyone reading this story will stop and think carefully before they make the decision to do something as risky as invest in stocks. Not everyone can make their fortune that way, so it's best to do prior research and not invest more than you can afford to lose.
Briany, could you tell me what your plans are for the long weekend?
Oh, hi, Debbie. I hope you're having a nice day. Did you hear from Jason about our plans for this weekend? He was going to mention it to you at some point. I know the Sunday is Jason's dad's birthday, so I suggested we come over that day. We can bring a present and some things for a barbecue if it's convenient.
Oh, were you intending to come over as well?
Definitely. I think Jason told Marcus that on the phone. Didn't you get the message? If you already have plans, we could come another day.
I see. You've already told my husband that you'll be coming over. I suppose there's nothing we can do about it now then. I was going to say that there's no need for you both to come. I'd be perfectly happy for you to stay at home or go and do something else you'd like to do.
I wouldn't want to miss the celebrations, though. It's a big birthday for your husband, isn't it? Jason said he'll be 60. That's a big deal. I hope you don't think I'd rather be out shopping or something.
No, that's not what I mean. If you weren't so dense, you'd understand that I mean I'd rather celebrate such an important occasion with my family.
Don't you think I count as family? Jason and I have been married for over 2 years now.
You really are very absent-minded and sloppy. A daughter-in-law should try to think of her husband's family above all other considerations. How can you be so thoughtless towards me? Now that you've told my husband you'll come, I can't exactly tell you to stay away, because then I'll look like the villain. But from now on, I'd like you to think more carefully about where you stand before you decide to invite yourself to any family occasions.
Okay. I'll try not to make the same mistake in the future.
Please do so. Hey, babe. I just finished work. I'm just about to set off home. Do you want me to stop at the store or anything?
Hey, Jason. How was your day? I hope you're not too tired. No, we don't need anything. Thanks.
It was okay. Nothing special. I'm going to stop off quickly in town anyway to see if that new deli has the scotch my dad likes. I was thinking of getting him a bottle for his birthday.
Oh, that's a good idea. I'm sure he'll appreciate it. Okay, let me know when you're done and I'll start getting your dinner ready.
Are you feeling okay, Bri?
What do you mean?
I don't know. You just seem kind of down. You usually send way more exclamation marks, and you haven't sent any selfies or posted to your story at all today. You usually have a cute kitten video to share at least. If you don't post anything at all, I'm going to get worried about you.
Really? Am I that predictable?
Don't say predictable. Say reliable. It's part of my break routine to check out your socials and see what you got up to after work.
Sorry, I guess. I didn't have a great afternoon, so I was too bummed to post anything on my way home from work.
What happened in the afternoon to upset you? Don't tell me it was my mom. Did she say something weird again?
How did you guess that?
I just assumed that would be it. There's nothing that bothers you quite as much as my mom being mean. It's becoming a pretty regular thing. And it doesn't seem to matter how much my dad and I talk to her about it, she doesn't really listen to us. I swear she has absolutely no interest in understanding how much effort you put into the relationship with her. It's like she doesn't even recognize that you have feelings. Did she say something about the weekend? Is there something wrong with your plan? I guess she probably didn't want to clean up after a barbecue. I can tell her we'll just bring stuff for a potluck if that's the problem.
It's not about the barbecue.
You don't have to go if you don't want to. I'm not going to force you to hang out with her if it makes you uncomfortable.
But it's your dad's birthday and he's always so kind to me. I don't want to miss it just because of your mom. It wouldn't make me uncomfortable if she could just keep some of her opinions about me to herself.
Yeah, I get that. I'm sorry. When I get home, you can tell me everything she said, okay?
Yeah, okay. Thanks, honey.
I actually have something else I want to discuss with you when I get home. It's something my dad has been asking for my advice about.
Your dad is asking for advice? Are you sure it's something you can talk to me about?
Yeah, he asked me to get your opinion, actually.
Oh, sure. That's okay then. It sounds important.
Yeah, I'll tell you all about it when I get home. I won't be long.
Okay. See you soon.
You're a little drama queen, aren't you, Briany? To cause a huge fuss and storm out of the house just because you weren't allowed a glass of the expensive champagne. You're ridiculous. How old do you think you are? You can't act like a sulky teenager every time something doesn't go your way, you know. You're not even a member of this family, yet you expect to be treated like you deserve a share of whatever my son has. It's nonsensical. I wish you wouldn't keep ruining any family gathering you turn up at, invited or not.
I haven't stormed out like a sulky teenager, actually. But considering you won't let me have any of the food from the barbecue or potluck, including some that I cooked and brought myself, I went out to the grocery store to buy myself some lunch. I haven't had anything to eat since 7 a.m. I'm very hungry already.
You've gone where? I hope you're not at our local grocery store. I'd be ashamed of you turning up there to buy food. Some of my acquaintances work there, and they know we were planning Marcus's birthday party today. What will they think if my daughter-in-law is buying food for herself?
That's not really my problem, Debbie.
People will think I'm a cruel mother-in-law. Are you happy with that?
So, do you think most people consider starving your daughter-in-law at a family party to be unreasonable behavior? Or even cruel?
Oh, please. I'm sure you can miss one meal. You're not so weak that you can't stand to be hungry for a few hours, are you?
Can I ask one thing? Did you give me all those jobs to do so I would be out of the way when everyone was eating? Then you could make sure there wasn't enough food left for me?
That's a terrible accusation. How dare you?
It's pretty clear to me what you're trying to do.
What I'm doing is perfectly fair. Let me ask you one question in return. Who do you think is gate-crashing this party that I organized specifically so that I could spend time alone with my close family? That person is you, isn't it? The one who always insists on being involved and invited where she isn't wanted.
You've expressed these sentiments before, Debbie. I don't think I need to hear it again.
You and I are complete strangers. I have no obligation to you. You're only a daughter-in-law. I'm not going to spend money on someone who's nothing more than a stranger to me.
What you mean to say is, you don't want me to eat the food everyone has prepared for the party, or the meat you bought, because you would consider that a waste of food and money. Do I have that right?
That's exactly what I mean.
Oh, now I completely understand. You mean that in your opinion, a daughter-in-law doesn't count as a member of the family?
Obviously. You've got your own family, don't you? If you don't like my way of doing things, perhaps you should go back to your parents and leave me and my family alone. I honestly don't care what you do with yourself as long as you don't get in the way of my family. And don't try to muscle in where you don't belong. Like I said, you're basically a stranger to me. That's how you should expect to be treated.
Okay, I'm fine with that. Let's be strangers.
Excuse me. What do you mean by that?
Well, Debbie, I guess I should call you Mrs. Richards, shouldn't I? I think I'll do as you seem to want and head back to my parents' house. You clearly don't want me to be a part of your family.
Do you really mean that?
I brought my overnight bag with me and it's still in the car, so I don't think there's anything at your place that I need to go back for.
This is very sudden. You can't just decide these things without discussing it with me first.
You've made it clear this is exactly what you want, so I don't see the need to discuss anything with you. I'll arrange to have my things picked up from Jason's house as soon as possible.
Wait, have you spoken to Jason about this? I think you ought to give it some thought first.
Goodbye, Mrs. Richards. Jason, your mom said that thing about daughters-in-law just being strangers in their husband's family again.
Oh, she did? Have you left already? Understood. Sorry for making you put on a show like that.
It's no problem. This is all happening so that your mom can finally learn how to act towards other people, isn't it? I think this is something that's really important for the family. We all need to work together for it to be a success, so I don't mind doing my part. And this is going to make life so much better for both of us, isn't it? I think it'll be worth it.
Me too. I know it's a pain, but just hang in there for a little bit longer, okay? I'll see you soon.
It's okay, sweetie. I'll go ahead and get started on the preparations for the next stage.
Thanks. I hope it's not too much bother. Let me know if there's anything I can do to help. Safe travels. Love you.
Okay, good luck. Love you too. Hi, Mrs. Richards. I'm sorry, I can't talk now. I'm on a bus.
Text message will do just fine for what I have to say. You must come back here right now, Briany.
I'm afraid I can't. I said I was on a bus, didn't I? The bus doesn't stop until it gets to my parents' city, which is still a couple of hours away.
That's fine. Just get another bus back here once you get there. It's very important that you obey me.
No, thank you.
Do you refuse to do what I say?
I see no reason to obey you when you're nothing but a stranger to me. You have no right to demand it like that.
forget about that for a second. We need you back here as soon as possible.
I really don't follow. How can you mean that? First you said I have to leave, and now you say I have to come back. It's extremely confusing, and you're making my life very difficult.
But Jason is so angry about all of this. You should come back and get him to calm down. Apparently, he's mad that I would say daughters-in-law are strangers and made you feel like you don't belong. And he's upset that you've left because of what I said.
Oh, I see. That's sad.
If you think so, why don't you come back here and sort it out? You don't want to make him angrier, do you?
I don't think I'm the one making him angry, actually. If he's angry with you, shouldn't you sort it out?
He's getting ready to leave. He promised to stay over with you, but he's putting his coat on now. If you just say you'll come back, I'm sure everything will be fine. Just tell us you'll come back here. Say it right now.
Can you stop ordering me around? It's not my responsibility to clean up your mess, Mrs. Richards. The reason he's angry isn't because I'm not there. We are perfectly capable of being apart for a few hours. I think it's because of you and what you've said. So you're the only one who can fix this. He's not angry at me, is he? You're the problem.
Excuse me! How dare you take that tone with me?
I got a nice message from him before saying safe travels, so I don't think he has a problem with me going home to my parents' house.
I don't understand.
You don't seem to understand a few things. One of them is that I don't take orders from a stranger like you. I listen to my husband and he listens to me. Can you please deal with this situation by yourself? You've caused it.
Briany! Wait, I need your help. Briany, this is beyond ridiculous now. I can't deal with it anymore. Why won't you help me?
Hello, Mrs. Richards. What is it this time? Why do you keep forgetting that we're basically strangers?
My husband has left me. There's a package on the kitchen table with divorce papers inside. He has signed them. And all of his things are gone.
Wow. That's unexpected.
Don't you know where he could have gone?
How could I? I don't talk to Marcus about those kinds of things.
But you talked to Jason. He might have told you what's going on.
Why don't you ask Jason?
He won't talk to me either. Neither of them is answering my calls or messages. Jason's phone must be turned off because it goes straight to voicemail.
Oh, then I can't help you. Since you and I are strangers, Jason and I are also strangers, so he and I haven't spoken since yesterday. There's no reason I could possibly know where your father is, don't you think?
What are you talking about? Since when are you and Jason strangers?
Since you said you don't consider me a part of your family, we have absolutely nothing to do with each other now. I'll be going now. I don't have time to waste talking to people who aren't part of my life at all.
Briany, there's been a huge misunderstanding. You have to help me. Jason, honey, what's happening? Are you and Briany going to get a divorce? Oh, yeah, I guess. That's the plan. Then you'll come home to live with me, won't you? No. Why would I? Your father has gone. He left and took all his stuff. There are divorce papers in the kitchen. I haven't touched them yet, but I can see he signed them. Oh, you're talking about you and Dad getting a divorce? Yeah, I heard about that. You knew? Of course I knew. He asked me about it and I gave him some advice. Why didn't you tell him not to go through with it? I don't see why I should have said that. He seemed really unhappy. Did you see the letter he left? You were telling Briany you thought daughters-in-law were just strangers to their husbands' families, weren't you? So he assumed you meant that you considered his family strangers too. You're a daughter-in-law to them, after all. But I think if you're a stranger to your husband's family and your husband is a part of that family, that means you're a stranger to him as well, doesn't it? I'm taking his side over this. It just makes sense to me that if you're a stranger to him, you're a stranger to me too. Goodbye then. Wait! Jason, you don't really mean it, do you? Jason! Briany! This is getting completely out of control! listening to me! I finally got in touch with Jason, but he just told me that he was on his father's side and he told me he doesn't want to see me anymore. What do I do? Can't you talk to him for me? I'm sure I don't deserve to be treated like this.
Mrs. Richards, I really don't know why you keep contacting me about this. It honestly has nothing to do with me now.
You can't mean that. Didn't you ever care about Jason at all? Think what he must be going through to lose his wife and mother all at once like this.
Regardless of my feelings, I'm not going to try and find out the whereabouts of a person who has become a stranger to me on behalf of another complete stranger. That would be an invasion of privacy and not something anyone with common sense would do. So I don't know where he is, and I'm not going to ask.
But you have to. I can't find him by myself.
Like I told you the other day, I don't have anything to say to you now that we have nothing to do with one another. Please leave me alone.
Please, Briany. I need your help.
This is goodbye for the very last time, Mrs. Richards.
Hey, sweetie. I'm getting off the bus in about 15 minutes, I think. Are you coming to meet me?
Yeah, my dad and I are driving to pick you up at the bus station.
Awesome. Where do you want me to wait? At the south entrance?
Yeah, that should be fine. There's a car park there, so we'll park up and wait for you. I think we'll get there around the same time as your bus, so if you don't see us straight away, don't worry.
Okay, no problem. What's the plan after that? Have you had lunch already? I'm starving! I want to grab something to eat, but then let's go home and put the finishing touches to our vow renewal plans. I'm so excited for tomorrow.
Yeah, that's fine. We didn't have lunch either, so I was wondering if you wanted to go to the Mexican restaurant that you like by the bank?
Sounds great.
What time does your dad arrive tomorrow? My mom is doing some snacks for while we get ready, and she wants to know if she should have enough for him.
Oh, that would be great. I think he's planning on setting off early, so I expect he'll be really hungry by the time he gets to your parents' place. He was aiming to arrive about 10 a.m.
Okay, great. I'll let her know. Do you want to drive by your new office on the way home? My dad thought it might be useful for you to see where it is. Monday is your first day, so I guess it'll be your first time driving there. We don't want you getting lost and being late.
Oh, is that okay? I'd love that. I haven't actually seen the place yet.
Yeah, it's fine. I know your interview was on Zoom, but I wasn't sure if you'd been over to see the office last time you were here.
I didn't get round to it.
Hey, have you finished writing your vows for tomorrow yet?
Not yet. I'm mostly finished, but I was thinking of getting your mom to help me tonight.
She might be too busy. My dad might help you, though.
Thanks, I'll pass.
He says you don't know what you're missing. Did you get everything sorted with the old house?
Yeah, everything was fine. I just needed to sign a couple of forms and hand over our keys, basically. I can't wait to get home. See you in a few minutes, babe.
Yeah. See you in a minute. I should probably start by explaining exactly what happened with my marriage. I never actually got a divorce from Jason. We just said we would do it, and Jason flashed around some fake divorce papers when his mom was looking, so she thought it was real. He said she came over to our old house quite a lot to begin with, to try and convince him to forgive her and help her find his dad. But he just pretended to be all sad about the divorce. And eventually, she left him alone because he was still mad and kept telling her it was all her fault. Which it was. Her own divorce was real enough, though. I'm not sure if it's final yet, because she put up such a fuss. They could only agree on terms about a month ago. Jason told me that he thought his father had probably been putting up with a lot from his mother for much longer than we originally thought. He remembers her being a bit of a tyrant ever since he was young, but as a kid, he never realized how bad it must have been. I think when it was just the three of them, they just sort of lived through it and put up with her. But when she started being cruel to me as well, they finally realized she had to be stopped. That's when my father-in-law decided to get a divorce. After they split up and my father-in-law moved out of the house, I think they just communicated through their lawyers. They sold the house quite quickly, and Jason's dad moved into a place in a different city. Jason's mom moved back to the town she grew up in, but I heard she didn't exactly get a warm welcome. I don't think she has any friends left there at all. Because I was staying with my parents while all of this went down, Jason had to travel up to visit me so often. After a few visits, he decided he really liked my parents' city. So we started looking for apartments here, and we finally moved back in together last month. Jason is starting a new job here next week, and this weekend we're having a small ceremony to renew our vows. Maybe after the ceremony, I'll let him know that he's going to be a dad. I can't wait to see his face when he finds out. It's going to be amazing. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button and subscribe for more content.